Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where Rangers have advanced in the Cup. We've got a decent win against Aberdeen. We've got a new signing and we're looking ahead to a game at Old Trafford in the Europa League. So as things go at the moment, not too bad. Obviously on reflection a couple of weeks ago, we're in a better place than we were then. So that's always warranted you what you actually enjoy speaking and watching Rangers, sorry. So aye, it's been a positive upturn. There's been a small bit of pressure kind of lifted off Clement, I think, for now. When we kind of see that the immediate plans aren't to replace the manager, they're looking to kind of reshuffle the whole thing, get external people in to look at the way the club's been running and stuff. So that's obviously going to take care of itself, and we'll not be involved in any of that. But we can comment obviously if we find anything out. But aye, as always, if you could like, subscribe, and share, always appreciated. And firstly, we will start on the Fraserburgh game then for the day. It felt like one of those games where it just had to be the result, really, just get over the line. You know, Fraserburgh obviously it's a big occasion for them. Massive travelling support as well, which is fair play to them. Some of the best actually attended away fans I've seen at Ibrox in a long time, and that goes even for Premiership teams. So I fair play to them for obviously bringing their support and their numbers. But aye, it was all about us just getting over the line, getting into the next round of the cup, and obviously trying to take this cup home at the end of the season. A bit of a weird team selection for me when I first looked at it. I thought this was going to be like very heavily rotated, where we were maybe even going to see Leon King start the game, Bailey Rice, Finlay Curtis. Obviously, Zach Lovelace did start the game, but I thought we were going to have a real reshuffle of the team. But obviously, there was a few kind of in there I kind of expected. Hadji maybe to start, obviously, because he's not available for Thursday. Diomande, I found out just before the game, isn't available for Thursday either, which is a big blow going into that one. So obviously, he starts the game the day. But aye, as I say, it was all about just getting over the line. We got our first goal, obviously for a bit of a kind of lethargic side to side cross into the box and see what happens. Kind of half an hour, Dessers gets a header. We go in at half time 1-0, but there's not really that much to kind of report on for the first half. It was quite dire.
Well, I mean, Dessers misses a sitter when the
Oh,
first
well,
one's set.
why?
But apart from that, absolutely thought it was a dogged first half. I was the same as you. Was expecting Rice and the other young boy as well, forgot his name, to both be starting the game. Obviously, I was expecting a bit of experience in there as well, just to help them through. But I was second half really when the young boys really came on for me, it picked up a bit.
Aye, second half, I think we always kind of knew that we were going to need a lift in terms of getting the support up for watching the second half. It was a really flat first half, but I think you've got to remember cup games usually are just like these kind of days
Like the
out to bring
result
your
through
kids
it.
and stuff, and tickets are obviously available, so you can obviously get um, more fans in that don't regularly get to go. So it's about getting these people excited about watching the game as well. So obviously that's the team. Mason Munn obviously started the game, get his full debut for Rangers. Obviously a couple of misplaced passes and stuff, but I don't think anything we can kind of really comment on to slate the guy at all. It's his first appearance, 18 years old, so it's going to be a learning on the job type thing for Munn now. He's obviously been the guy that's been on the bench if Liam Kelly gets injured, so he's having to be ready. And I didn't really have too much to do. I think Fraser only had two shots in the whole game, but again, good to kind of get the run out so early on these Rangers' career.
Absolutely, mate. It's good to see, obviously, players that you hear in the academy are doing ever so well actually get a chance. Um, apart from one or two miss ups, he was didn't have anything to worry about at all. I think, I mean, also we're going to go into him next probably, but I think, and for me personally, it told me James Tavernier is past at this game for me, just proved that. I absolutely thought Tavernier was, I thought he was rotten. I thought the two centre halves were decent. Obviously, the boy gets the goal. And Yefty he was running up and down there, do you know what I mean? He was unlucky not to get a goal himself, but aye, for me out of the back line, just showed me the day I think Tavernier really is past and he's got to be moved on in the summer 100%.
Nah, I think we're definitely we've spoke about all season. The regression of Tavernier has happened. He's getting obviously more injuries now this season as well as he gets older. Obviously, I think getting 85 or so minutes for him come back for injury is good. He's only just came back, to be fair to him. But I think we've seen it all season that he's not the player he once was.
No, it's not at all. I mean, even just some of the passes I say, putting proper in danger. Obviously, almost giving him a chance to thing with, and then obviously the manager thought he put him at centre half for a bit, and I thought, you watched him defend before? Come on. Um, but no, I just think he's past it. That's all season, really. Do you know what I mean? Not just
No,
this
no,
game. He's
no.
just all he's past it.
It's definitely an area for me anyway that has to be looked at in the summer, even before the summer. Like that kind of we always talk about Tavernier and how we either love him, we hate him, but at the end of the day, that's a guy that's played near enough 10 years for Rangers at that position. That's going to take a long time to kind of find a successor to that in a sense. So. I hope the work is kind of ongoing on that for the summer, and that obviously probably will happen, as you say. But the two centre halves I thought were fine again. As you say, not much to deal with in terms of Fraserburgh attacks, but Proper obviously had to be the kind of leader for Insalia. He had to kind of be that figure that would Insiala would kind of learn off of in a sense. So they done well with each other on Wednesday night against Aberdeen. Good again the night, or the day, sorry, against Fraserburgh. Obviously, Nsiala is the guy that's kind of came in. We obviously signed him in the summer. He's kind of been developing the B team and stuff, playing in that sense of the football. I thought, obviously, the injuries to the defensive line this season have been absolutely just every game, it feels like. So it was probably natural that he would get his chance at some point. But he's definitely took his opportunity. He's kind of ran with it. I think the Dundee game was a bit of a mess in terms of obviously another poor away performance. But St Johnstone last weekend obviously get his debut at Ibrox, thought he was good. And then obviously Aberdeen, which was a step up again in terms of the quality they've got. I thought he handled that really well. Obviously a good assist on that night, and he obviously gets a goal today. It was a great hit. To be fair, he felt like one of the ones that was just going to fly in the top corner when he was kind of running onto it. But really happy that he's now seemed to be settling into life as a Rangers player, and hopefully that keeps on continuing. He keeps on getting game time, and he keeps on kind of developing here because the early signs are definitely promising for me.
Very promising. Great assist as well, obviously, in the Aberdeen game. I just don't like, maybe it's just me and how much we all loved Calvin Bassey, but I obviously see people try to compare it, and I'm like, man, let's not be doing that.
Hmm.
But no, definitely a promising player. And one you hope to obviously see get a start whenever he is fit. Let's also when there is competition there for him to actually compete for the actual jersey. So aye, it's
Nah,
on my
nah, it'd
as
be nice to
I
see
was
him
just
kind of
saying,
continue on it.
no, that's what I was just about to say. It's just nice to see players get a chance, young players obviously getting a chance obviously in these games. So it's nice to see the B team getting a wee bit of highlighting.
Nah, no, that's the thing that's why the B team's here, like to integrate the players in when necessary. So, happy obviously in Ciala's getting his opportunity and he's doing well with it. So, long may that kind of continue. Yefty again, as you said, probably our most dangerous threat, to be honest, in that first half where it was quite drab. So again, another good performance for him. Again, we've spoken about it before. He kind of keeps getting better and better as the weeks and months go on. Connor Barron in for a rare start of late. Obviously, he was going to start to kind of keep Raskin fit ahead of Thursday. I thought him and Diomande kind of done all right together. Diomande, as I say, suspended on Thursday, which is a blow, but Connor Barron will be the guy that will have to play there. So it's kind of necessary that he get 90 minutes into his legs before that game. Thought the midfield again was okay. Zach Lovelace, again, I saw good things for him.
I'm well.
Probably a bit wasted out on the left hand side again, but I saw good things. What I liked about him, he's kind of got that same build as Man, where he's physical, he's sharp on the
I'd
ball.
like to I'd like to see the two of them play together.
Aye, I think that would be something I
I'd
would be
like
thinking.
to
Aye.
I didn't obviously when he brought him off, I was kinda thinking myself, right, you could just took Dessers off here, do you know what I mean? Put a wee man up top. But it's just good to see him back. Obviously, it was a nasty injury at the time, and we were playing Cimarron away for him, and
Hmm.
just him getting the minutes he's been getting. It's nice to see that. I like to see it, as I say. I think he's got a lot of quality. It's just about starting to get him as well into the first team.
Exactly, because he's much. When you think about the players that were obviously being told to leave the club, Dow and Matondo, you would expect Tom Lawrence will be another one to follow with the rumours of him. So, like, there's opportunities opening up in the squad. Obviously, we'll maybe sign another couple, but I think Zach Lovelace is definitely a guy that has to be involved with the first team now going forward. I mean, he's got, as I say, that physicality to deal with the Scottish game, and I think, if you get him playing more regularly, he gets more accustomed to obviously his teammates in the first team, and we'll probably see the best out of him. But he's a player that we've obviously had a lot of promise for a while, and hopefully, as I say, maybe even on Thursday as well, we're going there with a few players obviously missing. I think it could be one of those opportunities that he might have to grab in that game against Man United, which will be maybe the main game. So, I looking forward to seeing more of him. Nadeem Bayrami was probably the
Just a
poorest in the
waste.
day, just so lazy for me. Just looked like a guy that could not be bothered playing this game.
It's, it's a terrible attitude, isn't it? You know what I mean? He's the one that's forked out a wee bit of money for, and they expect him to turn up in this game. Do you know what I mean? He had but one decent shot, and that was about it. Really, I can
Obviously,
remember.
get an assist as well, but
Aye, but he just didn't look, as you say, he looked, didn't look like he could be arsed there. He looked like he'd much rather be in the house playing a PlayStation. And I hope that's obviously well, it will be an improvement on Thursday, obviously, because the fact that everybody will be watching the game. But you'd like to see that in these games as well. Do you know what I mean? There's young lads that are buzzing to try and get on the park. You know what I mean? And the managers obviously papped him on instead. I just didn't think he was good enough for all. And obviously, McCausland as well. He gets a goal, but I mean, he's a player for me. He's got to be having a look at himself and all. Obviously, when he came in, he was all right, what have you. But he's just not good enough. I mean, obviously,
nah,
you
he
said
isn't.
maybe send him out on loan or whatever to get some game time. But I don't know. I just don't think he's good enough at all. And I tell you what, as well, obviously, proper starting, you understand why they two seem to be building up a wee bit of a partnership now. But you do feel a wee bit sorry, I thought as well, for Leon King. I think, right, this is a game right now. Just chuck him in there. Do you know what I mean? All the other games he get chucked in where he was sort of fed to the Lions, do you know what I mean? In the big European ties, what have
Aye.
you. You kind of get on, he comes on, what, an 80th minute for a couple of minutes. I'm thinking, like, get a boy a run out. You know what I mean? I know he's not probably going to ever be a regular in the first team, but
But
no.
then you think of a game against Fraser, but at home you don't need to play Robin proper. Like
No,
you
that's
can
it.
just
No,
keep him for Thursday.
that's it. That's 100% it. I mean, what are they? I mean, the B team smacked this lot, but 5-0, and then I think they're sitting ninth in the league. So you just think to yourself, right, go and just let the young lads run out. Give the fans a bit of enjoyment. Let us watch what
Aye.
we excited to come through. And as I say, I really am concerned, obviously, with the money be paid for Budge Army. I'm expecting a bit
Aye.
more. You know what I
To
mean? A bit
me,
more.
so far, I've seen him be more of a big game player than be the guy that's going to pick up
Aye, it's
goals
good.
and stuff in
That's,
these games.
no, absolutely. But still, you want to see a bit of effort in these games. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because as I say, you've got the young lads that are there on the sidelines that are dying for an opportunity to come on. I mean, they're scoring what? How many goals has that wee boy got already at the youth level? Like 56, what? You
Right, scored a goal anyway. Aye.
I don't know. I just think of that. And as I say, McCausland for me is you just need to let him go.
Aye, I think McCausland obviously onto him next is he gets a goal obviously on the day, fair enough, tap in at the back post. But when you think back to the first half, I mean, he just could not get by any of their players. He couldn't muster up any kind of opportunities. He was so one dimensional, just so poor. He doesn't have any real great attributes, I don't think, as well. I think when you look down, obviously, if we've got a full strength team out, Cherny will play on the right hand side, and then you're like, oh, Cherny gets injured or whatever, you're looking to McCausland, and that's not good enough. He's not good enough to be starting games, and it's unfortunate because he did have a good start to his life in Rangers. We thought he was going to be kind of one of those maybe squad players that we could rely on at times, which I do think at times we have been able to. But we're looking for a step up in quality, and I don't think McCausland has that. I think if there was an opportunity to get him out permanently, I would do it. But to me, it seems more kind of like a loan deal that McCausland would go for this season. I think he himself thinks he's obviously good enough to play for Rangers, so I think he would want to maybe test
I
himself
think
and then come back and see what he can do. But for me, I don't think he's good enough.
no, I think the boy already, I don't know. I just look at him and I'm like, you think you've already, I just get an essence that he feels like he's already made it. Do you know what I mean? You're like, come on, these are the games where we should see the best out of you here. Do you know what I mean? But no, I just think he's one that will probably, you just have to move on.
Nah, I think so. And obviously the enigma, which is Cyril Dessers, he misses a 2 yard tap in against Fraser at home, but he responds with an assist and a hat trick, and then gets the
Even,
captain's armband at the end of the game as well. So just a really strange player. I mean, when you obviously see his 3 goals, obviously the one with, as we say, by Rami with the pass across, he took his time. Was a nice goal there. the one at the end, obviously, a nice finish as well to get the hat trick. But I don't know, he's just such a strange guy, strange player. Obviously gets a hat trick in the day, and I can't fault him for that. Obviously comes on against Aberdeen, does really well, makes the goal for himself.
Is it
So
really good?
he's getting the goals, but I think everybody's accustomed to the fact that Dessers will probably be leaving this month and we'll get a replacement in.
Well,
So if he keeps scoring, he keeps driving that value up, then we'll go for it. But
that's my that was the point I was about to make there. Listen, I don't really give as long as this guy keeps scoring, assisting, and it's attracting people to potentially take him. Aye, that's it. I mean, he scored a great goal obviously against Aberdeen, and then I mean, he just struggles to tap the ball in the back of the net in like the first 6 minutes. And then there's the one closer to the end of the game where I think he takes it around Ivdy, and then he can't pap it in the net.
nah,
I mean, I gets a hat trick, but I mean, how many times with Dessers do you say he gets a hat trick? But he could have had so many more.
nah, it's the whole thing about his Rangers career. I mean, see, even looking at his record for Rangers, he's had a decent kind of goal scoring time up here. He's scored quite a good few goals for us, and I think he's one of those players that we've obviously just he's not good enough to play for Rangers, right? But he's still scoring goals at a time. So you're like, how does this work in my head? He's not good enough to play for Rangers. We don't want him to be here. We want an upgrade, but he still comes on, scores goals. So he's a weird one to kind of judge Dessers, but I think I definitely in this window, I would imagine Rangers will be looking at offers. I've obviously seen like La Liga clubs and Serie A clubs and French league clubs are interested in him. So he's obviously got suitors because of those, obviously that goal return and stuff. So aye, I think maybe this month will be the backy Cyril Dessers, but aye, as you say, it was one of those games where you just had to get over the line. Obviously, don't lead to an embarrassment with Fraser, but maybe getting something out of the game, and aye, going to the hat for the Morris draw. So aye, always nice to just get a
And
cup
it's
game, get some rotation, see some of the young guys and that.
no, it was good as I say. I thought when Rice and forgot the young lad's name when the two of them came on.
Finlay Curtis.
I cut when they two came on. I thought it went up instantly. Rice was having some shots and whatever. He was unlucky. And Curtis, I thought was
Mhm.
fantastic. He's somebody for me. Listen, if you've got a chance, throw him in on Thursday.
That's exactly where I was going to lead on to as well with the two of them at the end. Like, I think, two young guys. I think Bailey Rice was kind of unfortunate not to start the game as well. I think we need to see him for the start, see what he's actually like, going to bring to the table. But I think I see the way he plays so comfortably in the middle of the park that he's going to be a good player for Rangers. Like, if we need him, I think just like a squad player type guy that could maybe force his way into a starting spot. I think he could be very useful. But it's all about getting more game time and more time to actually play in the pitch to to come like acclimatised to playing first team football. So maybe that will
Oh,
be something that will obviously come for him. But Finlay Curtis has been a guy we've been talking about for a long time, seeing his stats in the B team and stuff, always popping up with goals, and I think he's a really exciting player to get involved. Obviously, he's in the B list for the Europa League squad, so he'll be travelling with the squad. And as you say, if Bayrami's not pulling his weight, why not chuck him on?
I would listen. I would. I couldn't believe they get beat off of Brighton.
Well, that's what
Also,
you're up against, aye.
obviously Brighton are a great team, been a great club, obviously in the Premier League and that. But I mean, you ever just think to yourself, listen, if there's a chance here, it's right now, obviously.
Definitely,
I,
aye.
I just think, why no? Why no? Could they get any worse with the options there? As I say, Bajrami's not really doing it. Throw a young boy
You'll
on.
have to use a couple of the young guys. I mean, I'm looking at Lovelace and I'm
Do
looking
you know
at
what it is that as
Curtis.
well? See, when obviously we scored the goals and what have you, I was thinking to myself, right, if he doesn't bring these two on the now, then you know what I mean, if they'll be on his back. He was the same also in the presser when he was getting asked about the two of them as well. And it's like, right, he's given in a bit to the fans and being like, right, there you go, do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's your wee happy meals, wee toys for a happy meal. But no, I just want to see the two of them featured a lot more. Especially, I tell you what, especially on Sunday. I know obviously Thursday's a massive game and what have you. To me, Sunday's a bigger game for me personally. Just the way the away record's been and what have you,
Mhm.
and the way it's been going away from home.
Well,
I
that's
think
some of the things in it. It's like we can go on a decent wee run of form, we have some home games, and then it you immediately
I'm
hit
just
our away game, and it's like,
I'm just instantly prepared for us to beat Man United and then struggle to beat Dundee. I'm instantly prepared for it.
aye.
I you just already know. But as I say, these two young lads for me, they have to be involved until the end of the season. There's you look at the
But
quality
then
there. So
you think to yourself as well, like, why is Kieran Dowell been on the bench if Clement has made up his mind that I don't want you here anymore, so go and find a new club. So why is he on the bench? Like if we've got talents there that could be developing in the first team, but he's taking up space in the bench, I just don't understand it.
So, I don't know, I couldn't tell you. Hang me, but it's also to do with obviously the wages on. You can't afford to just have him no.
Probably the wages, maybe get him some game
I
time
as
to
I say,
see him play. Clubs might want him after that, so I get
as I
that
say,
part, but
for me today, I was more excited seeing the likes of Lovelace, seeing the likes of Rice, and obviously the other boy came on as well. I was more excited watching them than I have a lot of the players this season, really, throughout the entire season. So,
I
yeah, I
know.
tell you, innit? You know what I
That's the
mean?
thing. That's what we're obviously saying about cup games. They are kind of that. They've got that feel to them that it's just kind of one off, and you can kind of get away with. Again,
Obviously, listen, obviously it's a cup game and what have you, but see at the same time as well, you have to look at it realistically for us as a club. We can't keep like splashing them. See if we do get decent money for Dessers. I personally feel like right, let's invest that the right way, smart ways, and key areas where we do need it. Also at the same time, we need to bring these young lads through. I want to see our Rangers Academy player come through and be in the starting team for like
nah, exactly.
you know what I mean? Instead of just oh, you're hearing great things about him in the academy, then it gets sold to a Premier League team, and
And
then
then
you
yeah, I know you never hear of them again.
never hear it. You know what I mean? That's what annoys me and it frustrates me. We've got some great talent there, and they only obviously they get games like this and what have you. But I'd like to see them get involved in the real tasty stuff.
No, that's exactly what it's all about. And I think a game like Man United, when we maybe are so depleted in some areas, that it could see those guys get an opportunity. So we'll see. But aye, one new signing obviously we've got in the door. For me, an exciting one, obviously in an area we've needed a player for a while. Obviously, Rafael Fernandes joining on loan for Lille. Didn't play any games for Lille. He joined for Aruca last season for the Portuguese league. Had a kind of breakout spell there. I think he came through Sporting Lisbon's academy as well. 22 years old, obviously Portuguese centre half. There was obviously a reason why Lille signed him. He had that kind of breakout year for Aruca last year, and they signed him last January. But I think we Lille having Lenny Yoro, obviously who transferred to Man United at the time, and obviously they're still doing well with the squad they've got there. It was obviously hard for him to kind of make it into that squad, so it makes sense for all parties. We need a centre half in. I like that we're going down the route of a exciting young prospect. That's in a top five league with an option to buy rather than let's go and get somebody that's 38-year old till the end of the season. I like that kind of the mindset that Rangers are in with the dealings that we're doing in transfer activity now. Obviously, we're trying to get big earners off the wage bill and players that are kind of just stinking up the gaff to get promising young talents in, like your Igamans and your Yeftes and Barons and stuff. So I think that the recruitment, like on a whole, has actually worked out quite well actually this season. A lot of the players that we've brung in have definitely brung something to the table. So again, for Rafael Fernandes, obviously saw him at halftime the day coming out to make an appearance at Ibrox as well. So it'll be nice to see him involved in the squad. Probably next Sunday, you would imagine he'll be in the squad. Obviously, depending on how it goes, I still think that's Inciala's shirt to kind of lose at the moment now. So. Aye, it'd be nice to obviously see him get some game time, and I would imagine he will due to the injuries and stuff. And if he can impress at Rangers, then aye, the option to buy is there as well. So all round a good deal probably for everybody.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so, mate. I'm praying for one of these things. As I say, like, be nice to have a young player like that come up here and obviously do well. I'm just a bit right now with a lone buy kind of player. Obviously with Cortez, I'm a bit.
Well, that's the thing. Cortez being the obligation is kind of is fucked
That's
us
the
a
one
wee bit, to be honest.
that's where I'm like, do you really want to get in a situation like that again? But listen, all the young lads here, I hope we obviously do get to see him play, and he obviously does really well. Be nice, obviously, for all parties involved. I don't believe him when he's on about, followed the club for a while and all that kind of stuff he was talking about. But aye, it's good as I say. I like what you're going for, mate, but aye, it's good to have you here.
Nah, no, it's good to have Rafael Fernandes at the club. He gives obviously a bit more depth to that centre half area. Now you're like looking at obviously Suter coming back for injury. You've got Proper in there. You've got Balogun obviously when needed as well. He's very reliable just to call on. And obviously you've got Clinton and Ciala now and Rafael Fernandes. So you've got depth in that area, which is really good. Obviously when Suter comes back. So I'm happy with the signing. We got it done relatively quick as well. Announced on the Saturday morning. So. Aye, welcome to Rangers, Rafael Fernandes. And then on to Thursday preview for the Man United game. Again, we've all said it. We could do without the Europa League. It's a distraction, but when it gets to games like this, you do really feel like the big game feeling. We felt it obviously the last time we played Spurs. You had Crouchy up at Ibrox and stuff. You had that big event with the Battle of Britain. Ended up obviously in a good way for us getting a draw out of that game and performing really well against a Premier League side. So again, the same is required. We need to go away and we need to kind of replicate that same kind of performance as Nice, Olympiacos, and where we're really hard to beat and obviously stay in our structure and stuff. And I think again, this is Clermont's Rangers down to a T. We tend to like fare quite well against teams when we're the underdog. So again, Man United are really really poor as well. I mean, I think it was 2 league wins in 10 games against Man City, and they've only just scraped by Southampton the other day with a Amad Diallo hat trick. So I'm expecting him to be on his form for this game. So it'll be an interesting game. Man United they are gettable, and I think Rangers have got players in the right areas like your Chernies, Hamza Gaman, Yefty obviously up and down. You would expect Ridvan maybe to be the left hand side. So I think we've got enough in terms of obviously losing out on Danilo and Cortez and Hadji and Diomande obviously due to suspension at the moment. So there's options within the squad, I think, but it's an exciting game. I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited for going down to Old Trafford.
No, yeah, obviously it's probably one of the biggest games you can get in it, especially in Europa League. And also it's massive as well. You win this kind of game, you're basically through to the
Hmm.
next stage. So could be potentially yet again Rangers. I really honestly I don't see any real threats in this tournament really for that Rangers can't have a go at.
And
And
that's the
obviously
thing.
going to have
Rangers in their back, they've got Ibrox, and that's the big thing about the Europa League. Like anything can happen when we're playing at home. It's just going away from
well,
home. We
that's
need to
it,
do our
innit? But
business as well.
aye. I mean obviously last time we should have beaten Spurs. Um but aye, this game should be interesting. You don't want to say obviously a thing, mate. You know what I mean? You don't want to turn around and say we're going to batter them. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously anything can happen. But definitely going to be exciting watch. Probably what the team with what's it? The team with the worst home record and the team with the worst away record. Going to have a wee
Aye,
skip there. So
I know.
I it should be a good laugh. But I mean I just seen obviously their managers just turned around and said they're about the worst Man United team the all time or so.
Aye, he said that. He seems to be quite honest, Ruben Amorim, to be honest, what he's walked
I like that.
into
I think I'd much rather have an honest manager than obviously
than
somebody
trying to
that's.
fucking cover it up. Like they know they're shite. Like at the moment, they're not getting results that Man United should be getting, and that's obviously unfortunate. But we'll maybe playing them at a good time as well.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. A good time. Also, I'd be saying as well. Listen, see if I'm a Rangers player, I'm hitting a shot anywhere I can. It's that goalkeeper they've got
Oh,
is
he's crap.
he is absolutely dug, man. Obviously still have quality in there with obviously Bruno and
And that's the thing. You can't underestimate some of the
you
players they've
can't, no,
got.
yeah, but you wouldn't underestimate them. Obviously,
Because I mean, like
United.
just a week ago, they're away beating Arsenal at the Emirates in the Cup. So you've obviously got to be wary. You know you're going there as underdogs. You know we're going there obviously as we a kind of depleted squad at the same time. There's players that we want to be playing in this game that just can't because they're not
It's,
registered. So
see if you're playing in this game, but one of the only things I would love to do in this game, I'd love to just snap that guy in actual. I'd love to just break his legs, but I can't stand him.
well, why
Um,
that's the thing. When you look at their kind of the squad that they're
but
playing,
listen, I expect, as you said, I expect my boy Ahmad to be up for it.
oh, he's having a fantastic season.
He's
Amad
doing
Diallo.
unbelievable. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to see him also get the opportunity and take it and run with it. A guy that you just loved up here and you wish that he. I mean, you still look at Gio and you think to yourself, why did you not play him?
Exactly. That's like, the big thing for me with Ahmad is I think I always knew we all knew the quality that was there, and it was just so annoying that we weren't giving him the game time that he kind of needed. But he's obviously on good form. He'll be up for it himself. He wants to prove to Rangers fans and Man
He
United fans this
doesn't.
is a bit of a derby for him. So
Aye.
it'll be interesting, obviously, to see how he fares. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is Bruno Fernandes. At the end of the day, he's a tough player to play against. And you just kind of look at the rest of the side. Obviously, Andre Onana is not great, I don't think. You've got Maguire, who's gettable as well. The fullback areas and Dallo and Mazraoui are definitely there to get it. The midfield, I feel, is just. it's piss poor in Ugarte and Mino. Zirkzee isn't prolific at all. You've got Hoyland obviously on the bench, as you said, Garnacho.
It's
Uh,
can't stand him.
it's for a Man United team.
For,
It's a
for,
poor standard of team.
for
But they're
Man
still
United,
obviously a point above us. They're seventh in the Europa League, so they've obviously got that to look at. We've obviously going down there for the spectacle way, playing Man United at Old Trafford in a competitive game. Obviously, we played them at the start of the season, bit of a friendly, and it was a bit of a mismatch at that time. But aye, we're definitely going down there. I think we a bit of rejuvenated confidence for a week ago. I mean, when you look at last week's game, folk are walking out the stadium and planned protests and stuff, and I think obviously that's still in the air for me. That still has to
well,
happen.
listen, that'll still
But
that'll come back when we get beat on Sunday. As I say to
aye,
you,
exactly, aye.
for me, I'm not getting lost in the sauce here. I know where my attention still is at. This is a massive game. It's obviously a historical game as well. It's obviously great to be involved in these kind of games. That's what we want to see. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't get away for Sunday and the fact that obviously we know the league's done and the fact that our away form has been absolutely horrendous.
Hmm.
Yeah. And as I say, it comes down to that game where you know the players will half-arse it. They'll go out there on Thursday night and they'll give everything they've got. But then when it comes to the
When
Sunday,
it
as I
comes
say,
to Sunday, you know,
they won't.
that's
That's the
that's the
problem with
thing.
it. That's
I
the
know.
problem with this team, and that's as I say, that's what I'll be really looking for. It's what I'll be really watching for because,
Nah,
aye,
we need to go back to back here. We need to go and put a performance in at Man United. Fair enough. It's one of those games you could probably hold your hands up if you get beat, being like, right, at the end of the day, it's Man United. But at least go down there and give a good account of yourselves. Man United are poor this season. We can at least take the game to them. But the Sunday game against Dundee United at Tannadice, always a hard game going up there anyway. Obviously, after a Thursday, travelling up from Manchester and then travelling up to Dundee as well.
but I don't want that as a. I know what this man. You know what this manager's like. I don't want that to be used as an excuse. Or the boys gave everything on
You know
Thursday.
he's already writing that down. His
No, I know
excuse
that's
pile
what he
now.
was doing. That's what he was doing when he was taking the notes in the game the other day. Like, oh, there's my excuses for Sunday, but I don't want any of that. I really don't want any excuses about, oh, we had to go to Manchester. It's not like you had to go to Istanbul or something, you know what I mean? You went to Manchester.
Aye,
Most people do
3 hour up and
Manchester.
down the road.
Most people do that, you know what I mean? No bother.
Aye.
Um, I just obviously there's some players that won't be involved, obviously like your Danigos and your Hadjis and stuff like that. So
Well, that's
I
what we're on
expect
to
them to be
hear. Aye.
involved in Sunday. I think that's a perfectly
I
good
think
enough.
that's what we're going with at the moment. I think obviously, but I think Butland will come back in. I think Butland's been fit. I think he was left out today so he
Is
can
it
play on
that?
Thursday. He's back in training, so I would
Is he?
expect Butland to be back in. I think it would be
I was
unfortunate on Liam Kelly, but
I was expecting me Kelly to put a shift in on Thursday. I thought that wee man's up for
I
it.
think at the same time it's a special game for Butland since he was at Man United as well. Grew up a Man United fan and stuff like that. I think for that whole thing, he's tried to get back fit for this game. So
Aye, sob story, aye. I hear Gaffer. I'll chuck the rest of the season in, but aye,
aye.
I'll play.
So I think Butland comes back in. I think I would be definitely more comfortable with Butland because I like Butland's distribution in games like this. I feel like Kelly's distribution can be a bit all over the place at times. I
As long
think
as you say that,
Butland
I'm not.
is got that kind of that could get us moving forward. The back line obviously picks itself. Tavernier will play, Yefty will play, Balogun and Proper, Barron and Raskin in the middle of the park, Czerny. I think Yilmaz will go out on the left hand side,
Well, would you
Bayrami and
know
Hamza Gaman up front.
would you know rather have Yilmaz at right instead of Tav?
I wouldn't, to be honest. I think Yilmaz has
He's
done
the,
well while he's been there, but I think we can use Yilmaz elsewhere.
I just don't. This guy's done, mate. This guy's smoked the legs. It's that thing where the meat's falling off the bone with him. That's what it is with Tav. You know what I mean? That's what it is for me. I'd rather see my Turkish boy sitting there at the right and maybe play somebody else there. But I say
I
he probably
think
doesn't.
it's maybe that would happen if we had like Haji available or something. I just don't
Aye,
think there's
well, I
enough
suppose
options
it doesn't.
to maybe experiment. I think it has to just
Yeah.
be the players that are there.
So what are you going to do when he starts Dessers then plays Hamza out
I
wide?
get that's probably the only other alternative, but I think Dessers will play a part in this game. I think even when I'm
So
looking at the options that we've got within the squad, I mean, out
I've
with
just
the
put
players that are injured, I mean, you're looking at Dowell, Matondo, Cortez, Lawrence, Casemiro, obviously, all in the European squad that are out. So we're going to need to
throw
look
the
to
young boys
Lovelace and
on.
Curtis and guys like that.
Just I would rather throw the young boys on, but I've just realised as well there's an actual chance here for Cyril Dessers to join his brother and Sam Lammers and score at Old Trafford. I've
Exactly.
just can you imagine that? Jesus.
Exactly. So that, there you go. You've already wrote the script for Thursday. But aye, we're going to need to go with like, very very stripped back European squad. It's unfortunate that you obviously need to pick these kind of squads, and it's annoying that you can't get obviously new signing in time. You can't get Hadji or Danilo or anybody like that that's obviously missing out. So Diomandi's a big miss, of course he is, for a game like this. But I think if we can go 90 minutes with that team, we can see what happens. Again, it's one of those games in Europe. Thursdays we tend to pull out the bag, so that's pretty much everything for me. Obviously, new signings, we say. Looking forward to the Man United game through in the cup. So, aye, decent kind of weekend's work. Looking forward to next week. So, aye, we'll be back next week again, speaking about probably the Man United game, and then obviously the Dundee United game as well. And obviously, speaking about there probably will be activity in the transfer window. You would imagine if Matondo and Dowell are to be leaving the club, and then whatever else happens in terms of incomings, I will be make sure to comment on it either on Twitter, obviously, or next week's episode. So, aye, goodbye for now.